Howdy ho, JP here. Just got off Great Divide Classic route, and here's my kit. I had great success with everything I used here, and I'll just go ahead and go through it. If you haven't seen the other video, there's one that just kind of points out the bike componentry and things of that nature. But now I'm going to dive in and show you what's on the inside. Not the inside of me, but the inside of my bags. And I'll also show you kind of what I wore and what's in the pack and things like that. So maybe we'll just start there. I have tons of pedal head clothing, super stoked to be involved with them and super stoked to run their kit. Kind of a new synthetic undergarment here, which I always love a base layer. Even if it's too hot, you can just kind of get rid of your jersey, just wear the base layer and be a muscle guy. So that's first piece. Here is a, I forget which jersey this is, but you can see how lightweight it is. You can see through it. Love this jersey. Unfortunately, it might end up in the trash. It's still kind of bad smelling even. Like I said, everything you see here is just how it came out of as I came off route. So haven't touched anything yet. So I might even be surprised what's in some of these pockets. Cycling cap, this is kind of an all-time favorite. You can kind of see it's got a few miles on it with the fade. I picked this up in Italy. Ride to live, sure. Great, lightweight. Love the visor. I get picky with visors. And then here's a goo bandana. It's actually a buff. I cut it in half. I draped that. You might see pictures of me like kind of like this. And I kind of build myself a little garage tunnel and just hide behind it in the heat. TP and wipes. Seems like to be a great spot to put that. Sometimes it's actually into my bibs, but so back pocket there. I always have a few stickers around. I did bring a couple of coasters and gosh, where did the coasters go? So that's the jersey, the bibs. They're again pedal led, but this is their Odyssey line. And so kind of their adventure line, if you will. Slide in pocket on the left, then actually a little bit more of a secure zipper pocket on the right. And on the right, I still feel, yeah, some chapstick. Original. You know, keep it simple. So good. I'll spare you from showing you the actual chamois. It actually doesn't look that bad. And then it actually has a back pocket too, which is actually a great spot for wipes and things as well. Left pocket, phone might go in and out of there. Pretty sweet helmet. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Still hasn't been released yet, but Lem has a pretty big line of helmets coming that's getting ready to get pushed out. Super stoked to be involved with the brand. Super light. Love it. Really good looking and nice harness system. Fits great. On top is I believe this is a 2-fish mount, and that's where this guy would go. And that's just a Phoenix PD35. They have different models, whatever, but pretty stoked on that to have that there. Pair of socks, we'll just spare you those, but these were brand new when I started. I'm kind of a sock nerd, and I like Swiftwick socks, and these are kind of their compression style. We start with Freshies, and that was a good run with those. Pretty stoked on my new buff from Shimano. Thanks for hooking me up with a cool buff for another fresh one for the start. I got this from Unbound the week before. I rode 350 for the XL, and then I rolled in a Divide, but with a fresh buff. I mean, come on, it was worth it. Okay, maps, yep. I'm that guy. Look at all this extra. And I did open them up, yep. I know the route, but I still like to have maps. There's just a connection there with me. Usually I throw them away as I go, but I wanted to keep this pack. Everyone wants to know about the pack. You know, it's not out yet. I don't even know if it will become an item that you can get, but I'm stoked to have one. This is a pedal head hydration vest. Pretty trick. Up front, I have zipped up here. That's my backup headlamp. It's a Zipka Black Diamond. And you know what the best part about this headlamp is? It's a backup flasher as well for the rear of the bike. I use that more than the actual headlamp. Easy to put on the back because of wah. We're not done with the pandemic, even though here in the US we think it's over. So don't forget to carry your masks. New Mexico, people still wear them in the stores and things. So I had a few stashed around. Looks like I had one there. This whistle has probably gone 100,000 miles. This whistle is 20 plus years old. Flat. I blow it for the bears. And this is a little slide pocket, and that's like toothbrush, toothpaste, looks like some sunscreen, and then some eye drops. And then on this side, my wallet would go in here, and my wallet was this. Mount Laurel Designs little zip pack. I love these little guys. It's got these cool little zip side pouches, side pockets as well. In the winter, I use this slide one for my pump, but I don't need to do it for anything for the summer. So another cool little pocket. And in there, it looks like That's where I had a couple of memory cards, a spare battery. This guy just kind of lived all over. It didn't have a permanent spot. One day maybe we'll see what's in there, if it was worth it or not. And then on the other zip side, I think I had my inhaler. I'm an asthma mess. Smoke was bad. I actually didn't know how to use this. This is just an emergency inhaler, so kind of low key and easy. I only used it a few times. But I got to bring them everywhere just because it's my deal. We all got things to deal with. And then in the back, oh, the bladder, it just slips in there. And this is an Osprey Bladder, and it's an 85 ouncer. So 85 ounces of water coupled with 32 ounces of water and 24 ounces of water. And that's all I carried. Compared to the first divide I did when I carried 200 ounces from every place to every place, which is ridiculous. Actually, the maps went back here with that. There's another zip pocket on the back, kind of rad. Battery bank, 10,000 anchor. What's left of my secret butt butter. Secret formula right there. One day you'll know. And then clear lens, never put it in for my Oakley glasses. Looks like here we got some ibuprofen. There gets to be a point that you don't even care how big the containers are. You start the event and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna bring this little sunscreen. And then after being in the sun for days, you're like, just give me the big one, and you carry it. Little GoPro charger was back there. Just some like random stuff, really. Contacts, another battery. So that's it. The coolest thing about this pack is this space right here. This did live there. So this would be my second layer. It's a long sleeve pedalette jersey. There's stuff sticking to it. I kind of screwed up, and I was sloppy about putting it on the back of the rack there, and it got sucked into my chain. So now I have natural air conditioning in my jersey. It's kind of sick. I love this jersey. It's got some stretch, good mid-weight, still pockets on the back. It's a two-way zip, which is great. Anyway, spot device lived up here, but then I had to rip it off because I got a text on the last day saying your battery's dying. You better change the batteries. It's kind of bummed. So Silver City, I changed the batteries. But you can see this is a food pouch. So one of the challenges with doing any event, especially an event like this where you're just eating, consuming so much food, like your pile of food from a resupply might be this big. But where does that go? And a lot of times you're just shoving it in every spare crevice you have. But just to be able to I just threw it all in here. Literally. 2 sandwiches, a couple of bars, a bag of nuts, a Red Bull. And I didn't have to futz around. That's what was on me. Besides my watch, which I do wear. When I need to wake up, I just tuck it in here. I also need to set my phone alarms and this alarm. Here's my earphones. Kind of a fave. I finally found some that fit my ears. It looks like they're JBLs. These were like $8, so super great value, and I've had them for a while. Spare bag. Always have spare bags around, just in case you do start to get crushed by rain. You gotta protect something. Just be to probably protect my phone or something. Now to the bike. Let's work from the front to the back. So what's inside this bag? It's all my gloves. I got hand issues. My wife laughs at how many gloves I need to carry for a summer race. I did have short finger gloves, and I don't know where they're at. Maybe they'll appear. I like to feel being naked on the hands, but at the same time, you need to wear some gloves to protect your hands. And half finger gloves are great because you can still do everything else you need to do. You have rain gloves, randomly found at REI. Love them. These I wore, I think, twice, 2 mornings. Gotta bring them. They're puffy. And then, these can fit on top of this. And then this was like a major glove besides my short finger glove. I would go in and out of the short finger to this at night or morning. It was kind of nice. I had pretty fair weather, so that stuff didn't get used. Like if it rained a bunch on us, probably would have had to use that stuff more. Food went in here. It was pretty easy. A lot of times if I don't have dedicated space and stuff like that, more stuff goes in here. So it's nice not to mix your food with other stuff. Food explodes, packages come open, it's messy, you eat a half a bar, you throw it back in. It's kind of nice just to have one spot, so another reason why I like the pack for that. I wasn't trying to shove like a crushed burger in my frame bag. Every setup I ran for the Divide has been different, and I've never run a half bag. So this was kind of a different thing for me. My goal from the start was to try to make a faster bike, an aerodynamic bike if you will, but there's nothing here, right? Nothing on the sides is kind of what I was achieving. I didn't want anything on the fork legs. Okay, what's in here, dude? So more clothing right here. And this is gonna be knee warmers, arm warmers, and a warm hat. Watch. Warm hat, pedal lead, love it. It's a skull cap, not too thick, has some wind protection to it, so warm. These are pedal lead arm warmers. I think I wore them once. The knee warmers, some old swags from Pactimo or whatever, never warm. I don't know why I'm bringing knee warmers all the time still. Anyway, electronics and wires are a thing nowadays, so I was trying to keep some of that separate. You could see in here my tried and true little receptacle plug-in. It's got 2 USB ports. I like to carry separate wires or cords for when I walk into someplace, as opposed to the dedicated wire over here. I don't need to get this because I have it here. For some reason, I always carry this too, because you just never know. A random razor, how about that? Yeah, I like to feel clean. I probably shave, like, you never see me with a scruff. Like, I'm shaving every few days. This is a bag of drugs, Q-tips, actually some like real prescription stuff. I don't think getting sick is an excuse to stop. Chloride tabs for water, never used them. Like typical Pepto-Bismol, more ibuprofen stuff, some true painkillers that I didn't have to touch. And then like a Z-pack. I ran some physique shoes, and so I carry spare boas. It's just how it is. I broke one once, so now I have to carry a repair kit. This is my pump. You can see 3 different types of tape and things. I've been using this guy for years. I got a few of them now. After so many years, I might get a little nervous, but pumping great. Di2 charging cable. There again, just kind of isolated, and if I had to really button things down, if it was raining, I can close everything up, keep everything protected. Looks like another random Di2 cable. Yep, spare tube. You see, it's not a Tubolito. I'm just saying. Okay, so that was that side, main frame bag. Let's go to the other side. And if you look over here, you can see there's actually an outside pouch. That's where I had the lube and a rag at one point. Up there is the brush. You can see I used it once. Only had one mud breakdown, lasted 5 minutes. We have a Crank Brothers tool. We have a Dynaplug. We have a knife. We have some batteries, CO2, pair of scissors, CO2 head, spare battery for my Zipka light, pair of tweezers, and a special Allen key for my derailleur hanger. Di2 battery, it's connected, so that means I externally run the wire and then just set it in there. And then I have a spare battery as well. It was easy to charge the batteries along the way. I never ran out. If I did, I could just plug the other one in. But I would just like plug in at a convenience store, outside outlet. It charges so quick, just like 20 minutes here and there, like no problem. This is actually an old straight razor. So if you really need to cut something clean, your body, whatever. Looks like I got a few batteries left over. I accidentally carried the double A's because I thought I was going to carry the E-Trex that I never carried. And then a watch battery. Zip ties. A couple rubber bands, you never know. A lighter, you never know. Tire repair, needle, thread, looks like tire patch, some tube stuff, and here's some wire. Kind of cool little kit here. And then a lot of like little glue patches and glueless patches. Never touched any of this. That means I had a good ride. This is the USB from the Dynamo hub that I can plug into. This is how I would charge the 830, and that's mostly what I used it for. And then you can also see it has a splitter on it, but I wouldn't dare use the splitter because now you're trying to split the current, and they're not that strong, let's face it. I said this earlier, but I just like one source. I only want to feed that power to one source at any one time. Those 2 bags are empty. Check. Let's go to this. I've been getting a lot of questions about this guy here. I only took it off once. That was to grab my other bottle of lube. In total, I went through 1 of these. This is Dumont-Tech. This stuff lasts forever. And only partial of this for a 2,500 mile ride. So I went through 1.2 ounces of Dumont-Tech over 2,500 miles. That sounds like a testimonial to me. Inside here, look at this. Now you guys are going to make me get my deal all dirty. Sucking up the info. You don't care about how messy my garage gets. All these brake pads I carried, because I didn't want to go to a bike shop. I never used them. 1 set of pads the whole time. Enough spares. And what's in here? An extra cleat. Some extra bolts. I look at the rack and I'm like, okay, 1 of those. Also know those are just like water bottle bolts. Some spacers. Basically a hardware kit from the rack. And it's all separated here, and it's in this little top compartment, which is kind of sick. Piece of chain. Oh, look at this, a little adapter in case you come across some air that doesn't go to your valve. Some more Dynaplugs, spare links. And that's it for that bag. You ever blow a zipper? It's a bummer. Use those. Safety pins, big and small. If you run a rack, carry a clamp. Another rag, I guess. Sometimes I carry this and put this in here just to prevent the stuff from shaking around. You can damage things, get a hole in a tube from doing that. That's happened a lot to people. In here, I was just taking up more space so things aren't rattling around, right? There's a tube in there. What's this gonna do? So a real chain brake, wolf tooth pliers. Master links fit in there and it's magnetic. It's kind of cool. You could use this as a tire lever, but just be careful not to damage your rim. Glue, make sure you have glue. This is the DI2. This is to pull the wire. And this is to insert it. People think they can use their fingers, and you can, but I'm cautious of doing any damage to the wire, and I do want to seat it in there until you hit that click. Valve core remover, looks like a spare CO2. I had one on the bike, but then one down here. An actual real tire lever so I don't damage anything. And then another tube, strategically packaged like this. The one on the bike was packaged like this to take up that space. This is packaged like this so I could put more things next to it. So it's just packing strategy. And then I had this. So pretty stoked on this little guy when you put this together. That's a lot of stuff. And it's out of my frame bag. Arr! I know, I'm getting old, 49, knees hurt. I love it when people are like, gosh, it looks like you're not carrying that much, but gosh, I think I'm carrying a lot. And I'm not going lightweight. There's things to get rid of here. This is everything I need. So, have another pedal lead. It's got stretch to it. It's windproof. It wisps rain as well. So, resistant to rain. I love this jacket. I used it a ton. This is a large because it fits on top of the vest. So easy on off. Boom. Bottom layer. I call this my second layer, but this is the bottom. It's just a pair of long underwear, but it doesn't have the boy's pee hole on it. So to me, it looks like a pair of tights. It's Arc'teryx, love these. And a lot of my kit, I dedicate only to racing. I would never bring these anywhere else or wear these in any other situation. This goes to my multi-day outings. That's it, done. And I searched for this for probably many years, and I found it, and I was like, yep, done, that's that kit. A lot of the stuff will just move from right here in this space. This is Great Divide Classic bike. Well, it's quickly gonna move over to that space because it's gonna be Kyrgyzstan pile. Kyrgyzstan list. Kyrgyzstan. Some kind of hidden pockets here. This was my spare chain, so I carried it. I replaced Tokyo Mountain Life 900 miles is when I changed my chain. Gotta bring them. This is for my feet. In winter, we call them vapor barriers. I'm just gonna call them plastic bags to keep my feet warm and dry if it was to pour rain. It didn't do that, I never had to use them, but always carry them. What's in here? Rain jacket, pedal lead rain jacket, form-fitting rain jacket, specific to cycling rain jacket. Two-way zip, you could split it up, get some air in, even though you're protecting yourself. Mostly I'm using it to stay warm in this situation because it wasn't raining. But, gotta have that. This is gonna be my pants. Matching Odyssey kit. It's the rain pants. I've used the real lightweight ones before, and I have several of them. And I'm always like, just get the lightweight one, 2 ounces. These aren't that much heavier. They're slightly bulkier, but guess what? They're great to cycle in. It doesn't feel like I have plastic bag on my legs. The waist isn't falling down. If you know, you know, because those pants fit like garbage. And they're sloppy. And then you have to cut the bottoms of them or something so your pant leg doesn't get caught in the drivetrain. This is the first time I've actually wore kit that was made for cycling, rain gear. Zipper on the bottom, so I could just sneak them over my shoes and then zip down, and then it tapered out, and it was awesome. So then in the center, this was my sleep kit. When I find something, I keep going with it. Like I said, a lot of this will just move right on over the next deal. I'm not always putting things in another bag. The reason I did this is just to make it really small. So compression bag, otherwise it's gonna be too hard to stuff in here. Like I said, in some situations it's worth it, and then it also isolates my sleep kit. First I'll say no pad. There is no pad here. There's a bivvy. I used this bivvy in 2007 for my first Great Divide race. They don't make it anymore. Montbell actually Gore-Tex bivvy. Mostly I use that as a ground cloth. I've only had to slip my legs in it just maybe a couple of nights for a couple hours, but it was just such a warm Divide this year, even at night. And then the old famous JP skirt. It's open on both ends. One side's actually vapor barrier, the other side's actually sil nylon. There's strategy behind that. It's actually not the size of the skirt, it's half the size of me. But then coupled up with the jacket that goes with it, this is all synthetic stuff too. This isn't down. So it's going to work when wet, and just it's going to be a level up than your ultra lightweight stuff. Like, I think this sleep system is better than any 40-degree sleeping bag. It's warmer than that, but it's a more of a versatile system. And this is just an anorak. And so Nanotook from Moab made this stuff for me. This is a production jacket. It's Apex insulation. I don't know if he has the skirt on his website. I know he did at one time. He called it the JP skirt. But he makes cool, awesome, custom stuff and just rad small cottage company. If I step back, I think I just showed you every single thing I carried for the Divide this year. Happy to share it. Happy to answer any questions. I do some consulting work. Reach out to me that way. That's it. I hope you took something away from that. Thanks for watching. Support the people that support me. Support Dirty Teeth. Yeah, happy travels. Ride forward.
Thanks so much for squeezing Dirty Teeth into your busy schedule. Please help us reach more people and ensure you receive new videos by giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. Until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward.